For my first example, I will be using the Benton Harbor Housing Commission's website. First, we'll look at navigation. You can see that the site ID is located in the top corner here. And then if we click into the website, you see it's in the same location on each page here at the top. You can also see that the main navigation is located below the header. I'm able to easily find the home page anywhere in the site by selecting home. If I would like to go backwards, I can easily go backwards to get to the page I was on. The downside is there's no search box located up here so that I can search the site for what I'm looking at for. Overall, I give navigation a 4 out of 5. Next, we'll review the clarity and understanding. When I scroll through, I can see that the text is not broken apart to support scanning. Headings are not used to support main content. Paragraphs aren't short or broken apart. Keywords are not standing out. The content is located in the center of the page. So I would give this a 1 out of 5 for clarity or understanding. For visual hierarchies, you can see that some of the topics stand out and are prominent, like here for the COVID emergency protocol. We come back up and we look over at the About page. We can see that the topics are not prominent, that things aren't related visually with the content. You can see that the content is centered, but the page name does not. The content is centered. It's difficult to find where items are clickable, and there's no consistency for knowing where items are clickable. The headings are spaced farther away from the content. So for the visual hierarchies, we would rate this website as a 1 out of the 5. For the general layout, if we go back to the home page, you can see that the home page is named Index Homepage. If we go into Programs, Programs has 2 different titles. So the names of the pages don't match. The title isn't at the top framing the content, and it doesn't seem like the content matches what I clicked. The headings are floating further away from the content that we're trying to look at. So for the general layout, I'll give this a 1 out of 5. For accessibility, I'll give it a 0. It's difficult to find alternative names for the images. Headings are not used correctly. There's no skip to main content button anywhere. It's difficult to access things from the keyboard, and the text doesn't really fit. It's very light and small. So I give this a 0 for accessibility. Overall, we're rating this website with a 7 for being only okay. The next example will be I Love Baroda for the Baroda Area Business Association. We'll go back and look at the navigation. For navigation, we can see that the site ID or logo is here on the left. If we click over into the site, we can see that it's located in the same spot. The main navigation is located below the header. I can easily find the home page by clicking the site ID. I can go backwards to view content that I was already looking at. There is a search box available, so I can look through the site. I would rate this a 5 out of 5 for navigation. For clarity and understanding, we'll go back to the home page. We can see, if we scroll down, that the text supports scanning, that the headings are bolded and used correctly to support main points. Paragraphs are broken apart, and keywords stand out. Like here we can see the member highlight, and we can see who it is. The content is centered in the page. So here we would give this a 4 because some of the paragraphs are a little lengthy. 4 out of 5. Under the visual hierarchies, we can see that important topics stand out, that The images are related logically. They fit. The clickable items are obvious. You can see here that we could click here, again down here or here, and consistent in color. We would give the general page layout a 4 out of 5. Then when we go and look at accessibility, you can see that it's difficult to find an alternate text to images. Headings are used correctly. At the top of the site, there isn't a skip to main content button, and the background color does fit the text. So give it a 2 for accessibility. For the total rating of this site, we come in at 19, so satisfactory. Moving on to the third example, which I chose for being Revive Coffee and More, a local coffee shop here in the town I live in. We can look at the navigation and see that the site ID is up here in the same place on every page. When we're sent over to the gift card spot, we can again see that the logo or the site ID is up here at the top, so we still know where we are. If we come back, we can easily understand the menu, can go back if we need to. The downside is there is no search box. So for navigation, I would give this a 4 out of 5. For clarity and understanding, I would say that the text supports scanning, that headings are used appropriately, the paragraphs are short, and keywords stand out, like we have contact us here. We go over to their why page. You can see the headings, paragraphs. We would rate a 4 for clarity, 4 out of 5. Then if we look at the visual hierarchy menu, we can see that important topics stand out, that the images are related logically for it being coffee. Clickable items are obvious. See, this takes us back to the home page. We can see the buttons. They're consistent in color, and the text is broken apart in sections, but not everywhere. So for effective visual hierarchies, I would give this site a 4 out of 5. For the general layout, every page has a name. When I click it, that's where it takes me. The name is located in the top center of the page. Framing the content, the name matches what I clicked. If I click order online, we see order. We click menu, we see menu, menu. The headings are not closer to the text though. It's a little broken apart to where it's hard to tell what is what. We give the general layout a 4 out of 5. Accessibility, it's again difficult to find alternate text for the images. I would say that the headings are not used correctly. There isn't a skip to main content anywhere on the top of the page. It's difficult to access anything with the keyboard other than scrolling. I would say that the text color does fit the background. So I give this a 1 for accessibility. So the Revive Coffee and More site comes in 18 for satisfactory, easy to use. For our fourth example, I'm looking at Van Gogh painting. It is a local business. So first, if we look at navigation, we can see that the site ID is located here in the same spot. on every page. Build services. We can see that the main navigation is located below the header. You can easily find the home page anywhere on the site by clicking the site ID or the home page button. I can go backwards to get where I started. There is no search box available. So for navigation, I would give this a 4 out of 5. For clarity and understanding, I would say that the text does support scanning and headings are used. Paragraphs are short and broken apart. The text is located in the center of the page. So for clarity and understanding, we would give this a 5 out of 5. Visual hierarchies. I see we can see the important topics. We scroll down. Commercial painting, exterior painting, interior painting. You can see that clickable items are consistent. You can see. So we would give the visual hierarchies a 5 out of 5. For the general page layout, every page has a name, and when we click there, we can see that About takes us to About, Services to Services. The name is framing the content, so we know what it is. The content is in the center of the page. The headings are close to the content. So we'll give this a 5 out of 5. We move to accessibility. You can see again, it's difficult to see an alternate text for the image. See, the headings are used correctly. There's no skip to main content at the top of the site anywhere. Go back to the home page. It's not easy to access the content by the keyboard aside from just the scrolling. Don't see an easy way for that. I do believe the text color fits the background. Doesn't have too high of a contrast. So for accessibility, we would have to give this a 3 out of the 5. So the total rating for this site would be 22, coming in at excellent. Thank you.